Buenos dias, all. RGT85 here. Hope everyone is having a great Monday. We've got a lot of video game news to talk about. We're going to cut the chit chat out of the way. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell notification as well so you're notified of all uploads. Without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. And we're going to start things off with Sega, because Sega, they've kind of lost their damn mind, I feel. Now, you could argue that maybe they haven't had it in quite a while, but Sega is just such a weird company. And obviously, we're going to be talking about Sonic Frontiers today, because over the weekend, there were some press events for Sonic Frontiers for people to actually play the game, but they really couldn't talk about it all that much as far as giving a preview or showing any sort of gameplay footage. Everything that we've seen so far from Sonic Frontiers has been, to put it nicely, I'll say confusing. You know, why are these open areas so open? What is going on here? What is my point? Why am I running around in this luxurious grassy field? What are these different things? What are these different puzzle mechanics? How did Sonic get here? What are these enemies that I'm encountering? There's lots of questions, and I feel like the segmentating of the trailers that they've done, it's like, here's one for traversal, here's one for combat. It's not helping the cause any bit. We still have so many questions about the game that I feel like a standard trailer would have really fixed. But Sega and Sonic teams kind of clapping back at people a little bit. They're like, hey, dumbass, you just don't understand it. So this is an interview with VGC Video Games Chronicles. Team Sonic boss Takashi Izuki is well aware of the feedback being shared online at this moment, but doesn't seem overly concerned at this stage. Here's what he had to say. It's not really that surprising. We do realize that everyone is just kind of reacting to the videos that they saw. And because they don't understand what this new gameplay is, they're kind of comparing it to other games that they already know. So we see a lot of people saying, oh, it's kind of like this, it's kind of like that, but it's not like this, it's not like that. And really, the team is going out and creating the new game format for Sonic, and we're calling it an open zone format. And this new game system itself isn't something that really exists in any other comparable titles. So we're really hope that from here until launch, we can really explain what the zone gameplay is about. They then go on to say that, like, they could see the games getting like 80s and 90s and stuff on review scores and stuff. And I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't understand it. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't understand it. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is it that I don't understand it? Whose fault is it that thousands and thousands of people don't understand it? Is it our fault? Or is it your fault? You're the ones giving out the information. You're the ones, you know, perceiving this game to be as the big return of Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think it's, you know, mean or anything to say that a lot of people question what Team Sonic is doing, because looking at the track record of Sonic the Hedgehog, there's been a lot more lows than there has been highs recently. And I'm someone who even enjoys kind of like the stinkier games, but even I can be realistic and be like, well, these aren't really, you know, big AAA games. They're just kind of little appetizers, and then you go on to play something else. So, you know, it's just so weird to me to sort of clap back at people and be like, oh, you don't understand it. It's like, that's your fault. It's your fault that I don't understand it. You were the ones providing the information. You were the ones showcasing this game off in the most obtuse, strange way that anyone has ever seen a video game be sort of showcased before. So I do hope the game is really good. I think that there is potential for the game to be really good, but I'm not just going to take your word for it, because I need to be shown that it's going to be a really good game. I need to be shown a competent trailer, because if it can't make a competent trailer, why the hell would I think that you can make a competent video game? So sorry that we're skeptical. Sorry that we're not just being like, oh, this is the greatest Sonic the Hedgehog game since Sonic 2 or Sonic 3 or Sonic Adventure, whatever Sonic game you think is the best ever. Sorry that we're not just jumping with joy at confusion right now. But Sega, you got to throw us a little bit more of a bone. You got to put a little more meat on these bones when it comes to these trailers. So do you think that we just don't understand it, or is it just a strangely constructed game? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, I'm a man. All right, I might not act like a man sometimes, but I look like a man. And, you know, checking down here, I'm a man. And as a man, when I'm wrong about stuff, you know what? I take my L's. I take my L's. I have no problems taking L's. I am just a random individual on the internet who talks about video games. So if I'm wrong about something, I'm fine with accepting my L. And unfortunately, because you don't like to accept L's, but unfortunately, I am accepting a large L today, and I would like to apologize to everyone for previous videos done on PlayStation Plus. Now, I felt like my heart was in the right place, and I felt like there was enough stuff to go on to sort of draw my conclusions, but it seems that my conclusions with this service were wrong, because the PlayStation Plus extended tiers released today in North America, and all the games are indeed 60 hertz. So I was wrong. I definitely thought that, you know, there were going to be the 50 hertz versions of the game. I felt like my logic was sound, you know, considering the fact that they did patches for the 50 hertz games to make them more like 60 hertz games. Some regions were getting 50 hertz versions of the games when they should have been 60 hertz versions of the game, which of course is the NTSC version of the game, and basing it off of the PlayStation Classic, which of course had 50 hertz versions of the game. I wasn't going to be surprised if that's what Sony did and they sort of cut corners, but all your PlayStation Classic titles are indeed 60 hertz. And you know what? That makes this service a lot more attractive to me. I'm actually very interested in checking it out. I do love playing some classic PlayStation games, and, you know, hopefully the library grows over time, but I just wanted to clear that up because, like I said, man, I was wrong on it. I was definitely very harsh on it. I feel like my heart was in the right place because, you know, it did definitely seem like they screwed this up, but they didn't. So salute Sony. Good job not messing up PlayStation Plus. I will check it out later on this week and give you guys some thoughts on it because I am very interested in checking it out. Like I said, I do love playing some classic stuff, so it's going to be cool to see. I've heard there's lots of really good filters and stuff. The games themselves look very sharp, and really my thing was just as long as they play good, then, you know, people will be happy, and it does seem like they are going to play appropriately. So sorry, I was wrong. I'll take my L. And finally, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? What are we doing, Nintendo leakers? What are we doing? Have you all lost your damn mind? I understand. You guys want there to be a Nintendo Direct because Nintendo leakers, that's all they talk about. There are dedicated YouTube Nintendo channels, dedicated YouTube Nintendo websites. That's all they talk about is Nintendo. They don't branch out into anything else. So they're reliant and contingent on these Nintendo Directs. But this situation has just gone absolutely out of control because it seemed like on June 15th, there was going to be a Nintendo Direct. We talked about the whole Reddit post, the person leaking it, the person saying, oh, I signed other NDAs that expire around this time. We're going to get a Nintendo Direct. And now it seems like that person literally cannibalized their career because they found out who he was. Like his name was all over the place. That person literally cannibalized his career because of a fake Nintendo Direct, because it seems like there is no Nintendo Direct this week. We got some information last night that the Nintendo Direct seems to be taking place on either June 28th or June 29th, which is a shareholders meeting. I believe on the 29th, there is the general shareholders meeting happening at Nintendo. So a lot of people are sort of like, oh, that kind of doesn't make sense. But, you know, obviously, if it happens already in Japan and then the Direct happens before it or after it, I don't know, maybe it would kind of make sense. Who knows? It's Nintendo at the end of the day, but it does seem like this information is correct, at least basing it on what we know already. This information is coming to us from Alana Pierce, of all people, who works at Sony and was talking about the Xbox presentation yesterday, I believe on Twitch or YouTube Live or something like that, and said in passing that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct on June 29th. Other people have come out that have been silent about Nintendo Directs, saying that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct on either June 28th or 29th. That's the time slot that Nintendo has picked, and it's just like, I don't care anymore. It's just annoying. It's annoying that we have to sit here and wonder, when is this going to happen? When is this prophesized Nintendo Direct is going to happen? And getting hyped up about it. And people, you know, beyond the man on Reddit who cannibalized his career, there's people literally cannibalizing their careers on YouTube. I saw, you know, people making videos, oh, we're 99.9% sure there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this week, this coming week, the next week, as far as this week is now concerned. It's going to be 99.9%. And then it's like, well, there's not, evidently. There's not. If it was going to be Wednesday, I feel like they would have announced it this morning. There was no announcement this morning, so it's just crazy. Do we need a Nintendo Direct? I mean, I think we do. I think it would be nice to see what Nintendo is doing, but at this point in time, I just hope Nintendo comes out with the Nintendo Direct and they're like, hey, you know what? We're not doing video games anymore. We have quit the video game industry. We're going back to make hotels for prostitutes, because look up Nintendo's history. That's what they did. We're going back to make hotels for prostitutes. Everyone, thank you for playing our games throughout the years. There'll be a Mario themed bedroom at our little brothel hotel. And then they just end it, because I'm tired of the speculation. I'm tired of all this nonsense. Like, it's ridiculous. And yes, I do feed into it, but I do have to give you guys the latest updated information, because it's something that we've talked about before. But I'm also not going to be like, hey, this direct is definitely happening this day, unless I know for a damn fact that it is happening that day. So that's the latest. Evidently, it's not this week. It's not next week. It's the week after that, the last week of the month, on the 28th or 29th. Do you believe it? I don't care at this point. I just give me the damn direct. Give me a date, Nintendo. Tell me when I'm going to be able to see some new games for my Nintendo Switch. And like, that's all that matters to me at this point in time. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to give me your feedback in the comments section down below. What do you think about Sega saying we don't understand the game? I think we do understand the game. Me taking my L. Go ahead. L's in the chat, or L's in the comments section. Whatever. I was wrong. Okay? I'm man enough to admit that I was wrong. And this Nintendo Direct hoopla. Do you wish that it would just go away and Nintendo would announce something? Because I really do, because it's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on now. And as always, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share the video. Hit the bell notification as well. I should be an auctioneer if I ever decide to quit YouTube. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.